Welcome to another Tackle Obesity Show, featuring Coach Richard Walker, our host, members of the NFL alumni, lifestyle weight loss experts, and key social media influencers that are making a difference. Now, Coach Richard Walker.
Oh, listen up, Coach Walker. Bring it in. We're in the huddle again. Thank you all for joining us on Tackle Obesity Show, NFL alumni. It is such a pleasure to have you all here again on another wonderful Saturday. For those of you that are joining us live, drop your questions in the chat. We're here for you. If you're not listening to us live, you listen to us on one of our podcast platforms, or if you listen to us on KCAA 102.5, 106.5, the station that leaves no listener behind, out in Southern California. We thank you for joining us. Also at 1580 The Fanatic in Phoenix and WCKG in Chicago. Thank you all for joining us. Regardless of how you're getting this message, you can always reach out to us at tackleobesity.com. It's tackleobesity.com. You'll find all of our content there. You'll find resources there, information. And if you have any type of need for resources, reach out to us. We will point you in the right direction. That's what this is all about. So we are the hub for the battle against obesity. We're the pebble that starts the wave. So today, it's a very special conversation that we're going to have. And I want to start off with this thought. When we are working as in teams, it's all about communication. It's all about identifying and troubleshooting problems, whether you're working in a refinery, working in a factory, working in a law firm, or working on a football field. We're troubleshooting. We're creating a situation where we work together through communication to solve problems. If you're a football player and you're on offense, then we need to solve the problem as to how we can score on the opposing defense. That's where film study comes in, communication. Sometimes players tap each other on the shoulder and tell them different things that they see on the field, coaches, etc. It's a network of communication. So that mindset applies also to wellness. And it's a very difficult bridge to cross. And that's why, we wanted to have this conversation today. It's very difficult to talk to someone, whether you're dealing with the challenge of being obese yourself, or if you're a friend or family member or a loved one or a coworker or whatever, and you see that they're dealing with some of the challenges that are affiliated with being in a state of overweight or obesity. It's difficult to start that conversation to send someone on the right track. So that's why I wanted to have this specific conversation today. And our guest, and now this is the last time I'm going to use this word because we only use the word guest once. Moving forward, we refer to you as a teammate. So our new teammate is none other than Shaun Smith. And Shaun is a former NFL player. He was with the Kansas City Chiefs. Correct me if I'm wrong, Shaun. The Saints, Cowboys. I think there are a few other teams that you played for, but primarily with the Chiefs. And you spent was it 10 years in the league, if I recall correctly?
Yeah, 10 years in the league, undrafted.
Yeah. So literally started from the bottom and work your way up, onto the field. And so you've gone through the challenge of having to overcome adversity. But since leaving the field, you're just like everyone else. We're human. Life happens. We have things that come within our circle. And so you picked up a significant amount of weight after your playing days. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, when I got done playing, first I entered the NFL at my weight. Bill Parcells said I couldn't be no heavier than 315. So I came in the league at 308. Mm-hmm. When I retired in 2013, I was 352, but I got up to the heaviest I've been was 383. Wow. Right now I'm currently 332. So with that being said, I have lost, I lost tremendous weight, but the reason I lost the weight is just because health reasons. You have to, you know what I mean? But also I gained the weight. People don't understand. When you're done playing, you're not working out like you have to when you're in the league. You're getting paid off season. You get paid to come work out. You know what I mean? So now when you're done playing, you're not getting paid to work out. So it's like, oh, if I don't want to go to the gym today, I don't got to go to the gym today. You know what I mean? So now as I got older, I started paying attention and realizing that I have to, take care of my weight, take care of my health, in order to still be alive and get better. Because if not, I won't be here. You know what I mean? And people don't understand when you done playing ball, it's hard. It's hard to what I'm saying, to play to continue
To motivate yourself.
yeah, to motivate. That's the word I was looking for. To
Yeah.
motivate to go to the gym. You know what I mean? Some days you don't feel like it, and some days you do. It's just you got to take the good days with the bad days.
So how you first of all, congratulations on your journey so far. 50 pounds is a remarkable accomplishment, man. So first of all, congratulations on that. But beyond that, like kind of take us through that process. When you get up on those days, you just like, man, I'm not feeling it today. Like, how do you what do you do to overcome that?
I mean, I think about my kids. For one, thinking about still being healthy enough so I can be able to move around with my kids. When you look at everything that's when you look at everything that's going on with all these deaths every day that you when you how do I say it? Every day you look at the fraternity, the NFL fraternity, every week it seems like somebody's dying. You know what I mean? It's like you don't know what the cause of death is. Some of it's health issues that we don't even know about. Guys don't know about. Like I tell guys, when I got done playing in the NFL, I didn't know I had an enlarged heart. I didn't know I had some of the health issues that I had when I was playing. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know about your health really until you're done playing, because when you're playing, all they're trying to do is get you heavier back on the field to play. You know what I mean? I did the stress test. Passed the stress test all the time. But I didn't know I played my whole career with high blood pressure and did not know that.
Wow.
Until after I got done. I realized I had sleep apnea in year 8 of the NFL. You know what I mean? And I finished in year 10. So you know what I mean? It's
a condition that it goes silent. That's the problem, is that it's a silent killer. It's not loud and intrusive like an injury. Like you break your arm, immediately. You tear your ACL, you tear your knee, immediately, because you have that instant pain. But something like obesity and all the things that hides behind it, like the high blood pressure, the stroke, the diabetes, the heart disease, all of that, it builds up over time. But then it has such a significant impact once it gets to a certain point. So this is why we got to have these conversations.
Yeah, I mean, it goes to, even like to where even the doctor was just like, I went to a doctor a couple of weeks ago and they was just like, yeah, you still got high blood pressure. And then they was asking about my liver, making sure my liver was right, or your bad cholesterol, or your good cholesterol. How's that going? You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's about, not to take nothing away from the NFL or anything or bash them. I'm not gonna bash them, but they don't care about our health like that when we're playing. To be honest with you, because normally, what's the problem? Like it's like even when you're done playing, it's like when you're playing. If you need to go to the doctor, you go see the doctor right then and there. He's right there at the facility. You don't got to sit there and wait in line, go to the doctor's office and wait in line. Like even now, when I go to the doctor, it's like 1, 2, 3. I just go straight to the back. It's still, just because my doctors, I've been with them for so long, they don't make you wait like how they do normal citizens. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're treated a certain different type of way, but it's just when you playing, they don't tell you all the health issues that you really have, because all the medicine that they put us on, sometimes can mess up your liver, your heart, or whatever it is that you taking. So it just depends on how, attacking obesity is just a big thing, and it's not just only in big men too, though. You know what I mean? It's
right.
as I call the skinny guys, the Power Rangers. I call them. They have heart attacks too. You see too, so you just don't never know.
And it's you mentioned the brotherhood, and it's a very difficult conversation. I experienced a lot of this, as I'm going through my journey, and I started I got excited, which I understand because like people was just thinking like, man, hold on, where the heck this come from? Like I never known Rich to be like that. So I start reaching out to some of the fellas like, hey man, y'all need to get on it. They're like, dude, what's wrong with you, man? So it's a very difficult thing to start the conversation about trying to deal with, being in the state of obesity. So have you had any experiences, trying to talk to other people about, not only your own challenges, but maybe trying to encourage someone else? How's the conversation been going for you?
That conversation's going kind of cool. When guys see me, they're like, "Oh man, you losing weight? What you doing? You slimming up?" And I'm like, "Man, the same thing you got to do. Just take care of your stuff. Can't be drinking the sodas, the alcohol, and all that kind of stuff. For the most part, a lot of the guys I know are big. I know some guys who done had their surgery. That gastric surgery too. That they
Mm-hmm.
had to. I mean, I don't believe in that. A couple of doctors try to get me to do it. It's like trying to get me to be, I guess, a guinea pig. With all these studies they be having out, and I just wasn't
Mm-hmm.
with it. I just know the natural way of losing it. It's just that when you lose this weight, your head start getting big. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you're going through your average day, because we all have different things that we balance. So, family, school, career, etc. How do you stay on track? Like tell us about like how do you game plan so that you stay on track?
Say that again.
I said when you're going through your average day, with school, work, kids, etc. How do you balance out your day so that you have time to stay on track? Whether you eat or write or exercise, like how do you create time for that?
I create time. I mean, I start my day off in the morning by working out I work out at 5 a.m. in the morning to get my day going because I feel like if you get that going, I can have the rest of the day to do whatever I want to do to do the rest of the day because most stores don't open till 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So
Mm-hmm.
when you doing that, that's very important. You know what I mean? So I just try to focus my day that way, and then once I do that, and then it'll fluctuate the rest of the day for me. Because I feel like if I don't work out in the morning, I can't work out in the, I can't work out in the afternoon. If I work out in the afternoon, it's like very frustrating for me. I won't not motivated. I won't do nothing. It's like a waste of time. And then
Mm-hmm.
the programs that all the NFL have with the trust, as far as the Breakfast Club and the IRT. When you ask me, I tell guys about all that stuff. But most guys they feel like because they're trying to get the concussion lawsuit or different type of stuff they got going on. They be secretive about trying to tell you what's what because they think you might snitch and tell on them about trying to get their money. At the end of the day, like I tell them, I don't care. If you're doing your health, getting your health, it's free programs out there that we got. You can join the Y they got for us. It's different stuff. If y'all ain't using it, that's on y'all at the end of the day because guys still fail to realize there's so many programs that they have. You just got to do the research and call.
Mm-hmm.
There was no difference
Mm-hmm.
from when you reached out to me. How long did it take for me to respond to you?
Right. Exactly. Right.
You know what I mean? It's just a matter of just responding. It wasn't even about money or nothing like that. It's about if you don't spread the message, how's everybody else going to know about what's going on?
Exactly. Exactly. You just gotta communicate. Like I said, it's no different than being on the field. So when you're going through this journey, just like yourself, coming as an undrafted free agent, making it onto the field, I think you'll agree that one of the things that helped you to be successful along the way is coaching, right?
Oh yeah,
So,
coaching,
my-
most definitely.
are you receiving any type of coaching, or what type of support are you receiving? As you go through your journey.
As I go through my journey right now, the support I have my mom, my girlfriend. She talks a lot of stuff sometimes about, oh, you should walk, you should do this. So about your health stuff, kind of. So I do that. Then the people at Exos with the program, the ART program, IRT program, they support and trying to help you stay focused and stay on the task that what you're trying to do for the most part. But also the support is just me just staying. self-motivated at the end of the day. You know, it's just like you've been playing. I've been playing football since I was 7 years old. So if you can't self-motivate yourself and remember some of the principles, going back when times get tough for you, and going back to the basics, then you know what I'm saying. Then I don't know what to tell you. You just have to. That's the coach I have in my head. I go back to the days where Bill Parcells used to call me a fat ass. You know what I mean? Or sit there at the scale when it's time for me to weigh in on Friday, and had to wait for me to weigh in. You made sure the sauna was cut off. You couldn't work out. Just, you know what I mean? Because what? It's $825, $825 for each pound you overweight. You know what I mean? So you starve yourself on Thursdays and certain stuff. So it's just a mindset of things. I know the little fat boy tricks that you can do, but that's only short term. You know what I mean? Whether you take a bunch of X-Lags, the milk and magnesium, all that stuff that guys used to do just to make weight on Friday. As soon as you make weight on Friday, go right in the cafeteria and go put that 15 pounds back on eating a whole big
Mm.
breakfast. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a
Mm.
matter of discipline and being self-control and doing what you're supposed to do, and just want to live a healthy life sometimes. And I'm not saying you don't have your cheat days. That's what people fail to realize. You're gonna have your cheat days. You just got to know when you can do it, though.
Right, right. One of the things that I personally, had an issue with, and I just want to kind of see what your strategy is, man. But I'll be honest, I still to some degree do. I still hate drinking water. I always drink soda or something. Like I never just could just sit down and drink water.
You gotta have something with some flavor. As my girl would say, you just want something with some flavor. I don't see you drink enough. I don't see you drink enough water. And then I tell her I do drink enough water, though. You know what I mean? But it's not enough to her. But I drink water. I mean, but I just like a little. I like a little flavor to it. You know what I mean? Every now and then I have that itch for Kool-Aid, but I haven't
Hmm.
had none in a while. So you know what I mean. But it's just yeah, because it just be you had that itch, man. When you want something sweet, you know what I mean? It's just this type of stuff. So you just gotta more self control. That's the biggest thing. Any advice I can tell anybody on a weight loss journey is the biggest self control. You know what I mean? You really gotta have a lot of that.
Right. And you're never gonna change who you are. I mean, I tell people all the time, you're a leopard. You're never gonna change your stripes. I'm a sweet person. I got big based on sweets. I used to eat pies, cookies, crackers, cheesecake, all that stuff. It's just a matter of, like you said, moderation, but then also modification. And I'm glad you mentioned the fact that you use flavored sweeteners. That's what I do. Is I have the matter of fact, I have one right here. I have the low calorie packs.
The low
Just five
calorie fat.
calories.
Yeah,
Right.
I take my girlfriend sometimes. She get mad talking about you use them all, but hey, I gotta have some flavor. Like if you don't have no flavor, it's like But right now I be drinking some water called it's called Evermore water. I got a little deal with them, sponsorship deal I got with them, and they drop water out to me all the time, and it's good water. It's the only water I know right now that I can drink cold or hot, and I don't like hot water, warm water. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Especially as a big fella, when you hot and you playing, you like, oh, tired. Working out, you want some nice cold water. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. Right.
So
We just got to find a way to get that water intake in. So you kind of touched on this.
yeah,
You mentioned people having weight loss surgeries and things like that. And I know that there's a ton of bad information out there. There's a ton of fad diets or shortcuts or you know you name it. And I'm not knocking the people because there are some people who legitimately need to have whether it be a gastric sleeve or injections, whatever. Some people literally need a doctor or medical professional to supervise them or to do whatever it takes to get there, right? But
yeah.
we
Unless you
both
gonna,
know there.
nah, no,
I'm sorry.
most definitely. Unless you gonna end up on my 60 pound life.
Right there we go. Exactly, exactly. But there are a lot of bad advice, bad tips, bad food, things that are promoted as being healthy, but it's not. Uh, so how do you navigate around all that? Like how do you get one example I think of is without mentioning a name, But there's a cereal out there that says, hey, you eat this cereal, it lowers your cholesterol, it's part of a health. Oh, you already know what I'm talking about. It's part of a healthy diet, blah, blah, blah. And it's crap.
Hey, the only thing I can tell people is you got to do what's best for you. You know what I mean? Not being funny because I don't take this the wrong way or laugh at me, man. That I remember playing. I did the Beyonce diet, water with the cayenne pepper and all that, man, just so I can make weight because I wasn't trying to get my money back to them folks. So I mean, it works, but it doesn't work for everybody else because some people can lose weight quicker than others, burn calories faster than others. It's just you got to do what's best for your body and what fits you. So I feel like you can take a little bit of everything and put your own regimen together. That's what I did. Even from the go back to the Dr. Atkins diet when people say eat more meat from the grill and do this and do that. It's all about what your body can adapt to and intake how. And then once you control your body to discipline and to eat these kind of foods, when it's time you've been eating the good food and healthy food so good so long, when you try to eat something bad, you throw up and you don't like it no more. That's how you get away from, some of the bad foods and the bad habits.
This is a question that I think of all the time, and I kind of giggle when I think about it because people always stereotype weight. And it's only one way to measure how your wellness is going. The other one that people use a lot is the BMI chart. And I think of this example, and it makes me laugh when I think about it. If you base it on just BMI alone, everybody knows Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, right? If you base it on BMI alone, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is obese. Now you and I both know that's definitely not the case. So how do you track, like, how do you know, like, hey, I'm heading in the right direction? Like, what are the things that you look at?
I'm gonna say the best way I know if I'm losing weight and the weight and the stuff is total, not just from the compliments from people, but when you put a certain shirt on, a certain clothes, it fits different. Stuff that you couldn't wear before that you can wear now is like pants, shirts, different stuff. Because it's like, going to the mall, I get tired of. I hate the mall. I don't like going to the mall because they don't ever have nothing for a big man. You know what I mean? The most thing they have, they stop at a 2X most of the time. Or if they have a 3X, I can fit it, but I need a 3X tall because it's just straight at the waist. And I need a little longer. You know what I mean? But for the most part, I mean, there's nothing at the mall that has for me for big people. So you just gotta stay motivated. Now that's how I know my size is like. Oh, when I go in the store, I get excited. I tell my girl, "Oh, they got this. I can fit this. Oh, I can wear 2X in this." I even told my trainer. I sent him a tag one time, like, "Yo, this a 2X tall I'm wearing right here, bro." Like, he was excited. So just little stuff like that.
How did it make you feel the first time that you went down to a smaller size?
Say that again.
How did it make you feel the first time that you were able to put on a smaller size and wear it? How did it make you feel?
Oh man, I was really excited, man. I had to double take the scale, get on the scale a couple. You know what I mean? But when I'm losing weight, I have more energy to do stuff. You know what I mean? You can tell your body feel better. I'm not as sore. You know what I mean? So
yeah. If you were to go back to that 380-pound Shaun and have a conversation with that person now, what are some things that you would tell 380-pound Shaun?
When I was 383 pounds, what I tell myself, I mean, I was, to be honest with you, I was at a cold point in my life, though. I was depressed. Life after football, not knowing what's next. I just didn't have no reason to do certain things. Like I said before, I ain't getting paid to go work out like before in the off season when you gotta head back to OTAs before camp and doing all that stuff. So it's like, working out was only fun because it was a bonus in my contract. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go make these 40 workouts and get this 150K just to make these 40 workouts. You know what I mean? And if that's what it was. So Now it's like, yeah, I go to the gym, but I like it. But if I don't go in the morning, like I said, if I don't go in the morning, I won't go in the afternoon. To this day, my girlfriend get mad. She wanted to go walking, matter of fact, yesterday, and I didn't want to go. Because it's an afternoon. You got to catch me in the morning because working out in the morning gets my day going and gets me going.
Right. It sets the tempo for the whole day.
It sets the tempo for the whole day. Just like, when we had to be at team meeting at 8 o'clock. But 8 o'clock, team meeting is at 8 o'clock. Guess what? We really at the meeting at 7:45.
7:45. You get there 8 o'clock if you want to.
You get to the meeting at 8 o'clock, you late. You got that fine. You getting that envelope when you come out.
Yeah.
It's already in your locker. So, it's just, it's time, man. It's just getting going. I mean, like I tell people all the time, weight loss journey is not easy. It's not. You know what I mean? You gotta have discipline. It's gonna be a point in time too when you hit that rock wall and there's nothing coming off. That's that stubborn fat and all that, and that's when you really gotta work extra hard to maintain, to try to push through. Because once you fight through that, then the weight start coming back off again, and then you're gonna hit a stone wall again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm gonna give your girlfriend her flowers. Now I know she's gonna like this question. So what are some ways that when you're pushing back, and of course she's that coach and that motivator for you and kind of helping keep you on track. What are some ways that you go back and realize, oh, you know what, she helped me overcome that? How do you reward someone like that's been a source of motivation for you?
Kind of hot. She's over here laughing right now. We're in the car laughing.
Threw you on the hot seat, buddy.
But she likes to eat too, though. You know what I mean? So don't get it twisted. She likes the nice stuff, food too. But she does cook some good food sometimes, and it be healthy sometimes. So I mean, it's a balance, I think. I know.
But she's your support system. I mean, you can't be on a journey and she's sitting next to you eating McDonald's or KFC, right?
Nah, but we don't eat McDonald's or KFC like that. Every now and then we might slip because little man wants McDonald's or something like that, but it's not like that. I'd rather have Chick-fil-A than McDonald's, though.
Yeah. But she's your coach. She's there keeping you on track, though.
Yeah, she's my coach. I mean, she's a pretty lady, so nobody wants an ugly dude and a fat, overweight guy, right?
Yeah, she's keeping you squared away, man. That's good, man. So if you were to say, there's one thing that you're really focused on, as far as you're continuing on your journey, you still continue to lose weight. Like what's your primary? What would you say is the number one most important thing to really, really focus on as you're going through a journey?
The focus on the journey is just make sure you do cardio. I feel like if you do some cardio every day, at least 30 minutes of cardio or do something, walk, be active, it will help you in your journey. And just take the little goals and strive with them. Don't look at the big goals because your big goals you're gonna get discouraged. You know what I mean? Every little goal is something. It's taking it in stride and build off of it. Even if you start out and start doing good and you had a relapse, you start back over again. You know what I mean? You got to keep going and keep going and keep going. The thing is, keep your faith and never quit at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And then if that support system's not there no more, you got to find your new support system. Even sometimes the support system is the people in your trainer. Shout out to my trainer Paul too, because he's always on me about working out or do this. If I didn't come to the gym, he still sends me to work out because I would go somewhere else and do it or whatever. But that's the biggest thing, really, at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Well, brother, it is a pleasure to have you on the Tackle Obesity Show. Again, for those of you, if they want to follow you on social media, how can they reach out to you?
They can follow me on Twitter at AutumnSJS90. On Instagram is Mr.SSL_90. That's only two things I really be on for the most part. But thanks for having me on the show. Look forward to, doing another follow-up in probably 6 months and see where I'm at.
You're a teammate now.
I know we locked in, but then also, just that other stuff we was talking about next year for Super Bowl and everything.
Absolutely.
In New Orleans. So, So we should be, everything gonna be good though. This is a good thing. Hopefully we can get more teammates to join and understand the impact that this really had on not just our lives, but the youth that's paying attention to us as being with the current and former NFL players.
Right, guys. If you can't find Shaun, we're building a page on our website. You'll see Shaun on there. We'll have the links where you can find him on NFL Alumni Tackle Obesity website. You got two reasons to follow this man. Number one, you need to follow his journey, and number two, let me tell you, football fans, this is one of the guys that I talk football with. This man knows the X's and O's. Like, real talk. When you want to separate the bull jive from the real stuff, you follow this man's page and listen to what he says, because he's been telling y'all about the Kansas City Chiefs before they became champions. He's been telling you about Chris Jones before he came that dude. So I'm just saying, go out there and follow Shaun and follow his, not only his journey, but he spits fire from football talk. So,
And
but
I
definitely,
appreciate that. I appreciate the love and just follow me on the journey and all that. I mean, if you got questions, just shoot them to me. I'll respond. Sometimes it take me a day or two, but I respond though. You know what I mean? As long as ain't nothing crazy, it's cool.
absolutely, brother. We're gonna continue this journey. We're gonna send you on your way. You have a good day, and we want to send a shout out to your lovely girlfriend. Thanks for holding my boy accountable.
She's driving right now, as you can see. So
She's driving right now, but we thank you, and Smith, a special shout out to your trainer too. So it's all about a team effort, and we appreciate you, and we appreciate everyone in the circle, and we appreciate everyone that's tuning in. Again, follow us, like, share, subscribe. We're on all social media platforms. For those of you listening on our radio stations, 102.5, 106.5 in the desert, also in Southern Cal, KCAA, in the desert, 1580 Phoenix on the Fanatic, and also WCKG in Chicago. This is Coach Walker. Have a happy and healthy weekend, guys. We'll see y'all next week.
Meet our incredible guest, women's weight loss expert and founder of Body Smart Fitness, Jaymie Moran, who has helped coached and transformed women to becoming the best version of themselves through weight loss and management. Get ready to break a sweat and ignite your weight management journey like never before. Listen to his truly inspirational discussion in tackling obesity. He has all the tips and tricks you need. Head over to the Tackle Obesity website and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube for updates and live coverage. Let's make 2024 the year we tackle obesity together. See you there.
In behalf of our host, Richard Walker, let's welcome Russ Allen and our guest, Jaymie Moran. Together, let's tackle obesity.
With women, that is so essential. They struggle so much. I have two daughters.
Yeah.
And they, the one is extremely athletic and active. So she does not have an overt struggle with weight. The other one is struggled with her weight really all of her, mature life. And so you're inspiring, you're smart, you're focused on one area, go with what you know, and you've been able to scale what you're doing, which is terrific.
Thank you.
So I'd love for you to kind of give an overview of what Body Smart is doing, and then we can start digging in, But
so we specifically help women over 30 lose 30 to 60 pounds in under 6 months. And unlike a lot of normal diets out there or training plans, we do it without restrictive diets or countless hours in the gym or, having clarity. We actually create a lot of clarity for people and actually gamify the process to make it more simplistic and to actually make it easier to start seeing the results you want instead of more difficult.
I noticed you had an app that is part of your system.
Correct.
And that app, what percent of the role of the experience someone has with Body Smart is managed by the app, and how much is through the coaching? And you have lots of different programs that you do as a very comprehensive approach. I'd love to let you expand on that.
Yeah, so the app is just a tool. The actual main experience is with the coach. So you work with a coach on a one-to-one, have a one-to-one experience with the coach, and it's their job ultimately to hold you accountable, be your cheerleader, and create clarity for the next steps that you need to take. So for a lot of people, when they'll come in, they'll feel really overwhelmed with their diet, with the movement habits, with their training, the nutrition, their sleep. And it's often like, where do we even start? And there's a lot of overwhelming confusion. And it's our job as coaches and professionals to really look at that individual and understand what are going to be the bigger rocks. So the biggest rocks are often going to see the biggest results in the shortest amount of time with the least effort. And for that, it really capitalizes on helping people take those first couple of steps, but also maximize the results that they see. And then you get like an initial motivation. So that's typically something you hear a lot of clients say is, oh, I just need to be motivated to take that next step, or I just need to be motivated with my diet or my training. When matter of fact, motivation actually comes from being in motion. So actually taking the steps and seeing the results, and then feeling motivated by the actions and the steps that you've actually taken.
Yeah, that's great. What do you have weekly check-ins with your coach, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we'll have a we'll have a breakthrough call to make sure that the person's ready. Just like in counseling or therapy or anything else, the person has to want to make a change. If we're trying to pull somebody's teeth or drag them along, you'll only get somebody so far. So there has to be a desire to want and change. And we'll find that out on the breakthrough call. After that, we'll enroll people and they'll start in a kickstart week. So in that kickstart week, we get everyone set up on the apps that we use, and then we set some initial habits. And they could just be as simple as, prioritizing better sleep, understanding what fundamentals are going to make you have a better night's sleep, whether that's the quantity or the quality of your sleep, maybe improving some of your movement habits. So for some people, like I think the average American is doing around 3,000 to 4,000 steps. So if we could even just increase that to 5,000 or 6,000 steps, that over a week actually really increases your calorie expenditure. And it's just great for people's overall physical and mental health. And then, like I said, just keeping it simple and easy to begin with, and then really letting the compounding effect start to take place. So a huge philosophy at Body Smart is that we focus on getting 1% better every day. And that doesn't seem like that much. It seems very in reach. But if you get 1% better every day over the course of a year, you've got 37 times better. So if you don't really know anything about your nutrition and you get 37 times better in a year, you're going to be considerably better than where you started. And nutrition and training and stress management and sleep, these are all like skills that you can start to get better at over time. And once you master them, the return that you have is lifelong, because a lot of these things that we're talking about here, these are skills that will last for the rest of your life.
One of the things we've done is produce a video series that works for both adults and children. And the NFL alumni, our mission is to support people in tackling obesity. We don't provide coaching. We edify coaches like yourself. We think you're a critical part of it. And because if you're not held accountable, it is so much harder. And a coach, if they really engage you, makes it so much easier, to stay motivated. To your point, when you run into something that's a block or you plateau on something, somebody outside of you can say, well, why don't you look at this and look at that?
Accountability in coaching, I think it's we're 95% more likely to take action if we're held accountable to a certain person or process. So the accountability aspect of coaching is huge. When it comes to Friday evening and we've had a hard week at work and the kids have been driving us crazy, it's so much easier at that time to just get a takeout or get a drive through on the way home, because it's the easier route to take. Knowing that you're accountable to a coach sometimes who wants you to make better decisions, not just for them to help you see success, but for you to see success, can really drive that positive behavior and positive actions. And then off the back of that, you get up on Saturday, you feel proud of the decisions you've made. Then those positive decisions, seep into the weekend. And then it just starts to really compound. So, accountability and great coaching and having that cheerleader there can really be vital for people who have struggled, not just for years. Like most of our clients have struggled for decades. So, it's a lot of failure to have behind you. If you've tried something for 20 years and not been able to see success, all you kind of know is kind of losing and failing and this being a struggle. So when you kind of get a coach behind you and you're able to start stacking some wins and build the evidence behind you that you can win, it really starts to bring back that self-belief of, hey, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can become a fit and healthy person. And beliefs are extremely powerful.
Yeah, well, and getting those beliefs reinforced. Is there a component where there's a community experience within your coaching program?
Yeah, so each one of our coaches works with around 50 to 60 clients on a one-on-one basis. They have a WhatsApp group community where the clients are in there, and it's extremely uplifting. Something we hear from a lot of the ladies that we've worked with in the past is it can feel quite alone sometimes. Sometimes they don't want to tell their partner or their friends because they failed for so long. It's like, oh, Sally's on another diet. How long is this one going to last? There's kind of this judgment and shame. So sometimes the journey can feel quite personal. And having like another group of, 40, 50 women who can share that experience with you. And some of these ladies might be a couple of steps behind you and some might be a couple of steps in front. And it's just great to see the commonalities of like, oh, I'm not the only person who's struggling with this. And that can really give you reassurance. Bless you. in the steps that you need to take. So yeah, community is huge, especially a community of people who are like-minded and possibly going through the same struggles.
Sure. I coached a group of NFL players who were retired. It was all men, kind of the opposite. These are all older guys, and the oldest was 79, and he lost 49 pounds.
Wow. Amazing.
The one who lost the most pounds is actually Richard Walker, who has become my business partner, and he is our head coach. And Richard has lost over 120 pounds.
Amazing.
And it's such a great experience. I met Richard at the Super Bowl in LA, and we were in what's called Media Row, where all the media gather, and they each have a desk. So he had a desk, but he was up in the green room, and he was stuffing his pockets with chips and everything. And I'm telling him what I'm doing with the NFL guys. And he goes, I think I could do that. And I'm looking at him, he was over 420 pounds.
Wow.
He's 6'6", right? And he's a massive guy. And I go, yeah, sure. Good. Let's do it. But he stuck with it and he lost 92 pounds in his first, and we used a meal replacement program, which was fairly straightforward. And for some people that really works, the challenge is to maintain after, because if you don't establish habits, you don't get anywhere really, because it's what you just said. It's a diet. It's not a lifestyle. And you're really probably most effective if you can establish lifestyle changes. I'd love for you to expand on that. Yeah,
it's there's a really famous saying called show me your habits and I'll show you your future. And it's because your habits and what you do on a day-to-day basis really do dictate, where you're going to go. If you've got great financial habits today, they will often compound and you'll be wealthier in the future. If you've got great health habits today, you're going to continue to be the healthiest version of yourself in the future, versus if you have not healthy habits right now, the same can apply. They can compound in a negative way. So really getting your habits in a great place. So it does, and it sounds a bit cliche sometimes. I think people push back when it's like, oh, it's just got to be a lifestyle, but it really does. And I think where people can't see themselves becoming a fit and healthy person, or I even identifying as a fit and healthy person, like, hey, that's Sandra, she's really fit, she's really active, is that the experience has been quite painful for people in the past. Like they've not enjoyed exercise. Exercise has felt like a punishment to lose weight. Diets they've been on have been extremely restrictive and painful. So the experience of trying to be healthy has been very painful. And it doesn't need to be that way. Often what people need to do is start taking these small steps that feel more inviting and actually a little bit easier. And then you start to see, as we were saying a bit earlier, that positive feedback loop of, hey, like, you know what, I've been eating healthier and I've been eating, lots of whole foods and really getting more nutrients in my diet. And I'm still enjoying the odd bit of chocolate and ice cream and I'm still factoring that into my diet, but I feel great. I've got more energy. And you then start to actually want to choose to eat the healthier food instead of the maybe more unhealthy food, because it makes you feel good. You have more energy, you sleep better, your mental health is in a better place. So it's really starting to take the process and taking the steps and the small steps to create these healthier habits, but then really reinforcing the behavior of, hey, this is what I want to do for me. This aligns with my values and my goals.
You know, your program, you offer 100% money back guarantee.
Yeah,
which is a terrific standard of integrity around your service. And it, you know, for people who are afraid because they've failed again and again, that's sort of, you know, eliminating the barrier of fear that they're going to waste their money, and along with being frustrated again.
Yeah,
is so terrific, you know. So maybe you could just kind of outline your core method, you know, of, you know, I assume you're pretty much a whole food diet. I mean, but go ahead. I don't want to fill in the blank.
Yeah. So when it comes to our like nutritional philosophy, we have a philosophy of it matters what you do the majority of the time, not the minority. So, you know, we'll aim for people to get 80 to 90% of their, you know, overall nutrition and calories from whole nutrient dense foods. But often, you know, you're going to get enough of your vitamins, your minerals, and your fiber from that type of food. So if you want to have 10, 20% of a little bit of what you love, you know, the odd bar of chocolate, some ice cream, factor in the minority of the time of the minority of your diet from these foods, you can definitely still enjoy these foods and be really healthy and get great results. And that's something that our clients have really aligned with, because these quote unquote diets in the past have been so restrictive and so painful that it's kind of put them off trying, versus when they're like, hey, like you can actually eat these foods and you can feel full and you can feel satiated and you can enjoy a little bit of what you love, or even have the odd glass of wine. It becomes a lot more appealing. Yes, we're not saying you can have a bottle of wine twice a week if you still want to see great results, but you can still indulge from time to time on a little bit of the foods that you love, and creating that more of a positive relationship with food can be fantastic. As for our program and how we sort of guarantee results, because it's a very bold claim and statement to make, especially when it comes to people's health. Yeah, you can take a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. So like, how do we guarantee we get these ladies, you know, guaranteed results? Like I said, we make sure everyone who comes into the program has that want and desire to actually start. If that's the case, you know, we've got nearly 1,000 Trustpilot reviews now, and some of the common through lines have been, you know, Body Smart will not let you fail. Like, our team and our coaches genuinely care and go above and beyond to help these ladies where sometimes they would typically drop out. We will go above and beyond. But a big one for us is we create clarity. So a client comes in, we understand what their ultimate goal is. We understand what health is to them and their values. And then we take them through a gamified process. So they start in a kickstart week, and then they move into level 1. And what we have now is a 5-level system, tiered, where it's a structured curriculum. So as you go through each level, as you complete level 1, you learn new habits, new skills, and new behaviors. And as you get to the end of that level, you have to take a test, and your coach has to sign you off, and you have to feel confident in your ability in level 1 before you move into level 2. And we do this with our clients to go through 5 levels before they become a Body Smart graduate. And when somebody becomes a Body Smart graduate, it means they've hit their goal weight, they're a healthy BMI, they feel confident, they feel in control, they feel empowered. They've often got a year of evidence behind them to say, I can be consistent. And they're in a really healthy, confident place where they feel like, hey, I can actually go and maintain the results I've achieved for the rest of my life. Because as you mentioned a little bit earlier, Russ, it's 85 to 95% of people who lose weight regain it all over the next 2 to 3 years. So the odds are kind of stacked against you. And it's coming back to what you said a little bit earlier, like people are viewing it as like a short-term diet or a short-term sprint instead of a holistic. And then that word gets thrown around with a bit woo-woo, but like a holistic lifestyle of how can I actually enjoy my health? How can I enjoy my body? How can I enjoy my food?
Right. Well, my wife and I both lost. She lost 70 pounds, and I lost 50.
Amazing.
Was,
congratulations.
It's kind of how the whole thing started, and you know, I've been able to keep it off, and we've adjusted our life completely around upping our activity levels. Hydration is actually a really big piece of the puzzle for really controlling your weight and managing times when you kind of binge or something. You get off the track a little bit. If you can hydrate, just following an event like that, along with every day, but particularly if you've kind of done, again, enjoyed, or however you want to call it, indulged. And I would love to hear your kind of point of view on that.
Yeah, so most people are chronically dehydrated. When you wake up in the morning, you're the most dehydrated that you'll be all day. That's why when you go to the toilet, your pee or your urine will be its darkest. So getting a glass of water as soon as you wake up is really important for just hydrating the whole body and giving you lots of energy. But then often people are just not drinking enough water throughout the day. And that's what is end up happening there is people are turning to food for water. So you can finish a meal and think you're still hungry, but what you actually might be is still thirsty because food has water in it. So it's sometimes just a great rule to drink like an 8-ounce glass of water, 20 to 30 minutes before a meal. I'm really trying to get somewhere between, I'd say around 65 and 100 ounces of water. If you're really active and you live in a hotter climate, it could be a little bit more than that. But as I said, most people are chronically dehydrated, drinking way too much coffee. And I'm not saying don't drink coffee or don't drink tea. I'm just saying drink more water. A great rule we always say to our clients in the morning is make sure you hydrate before you caffeinate. And it's just that little rule. It's just trying to put things in place. My girlfriend, Steph, she was struggling to get enough water in, especially in the morning. So she now leaves a glass of water in the bathroom. So when she gets up in the morning, as soon as she brushes her teeth, the glass of water is in front of her, and it's something called habit stacking. So she has the habit that she brushes her teeth in the morning. That's already there, and then she just stacks another habit on it where she's in the exact same situation. So now she has, I brush my teeth. As soon as I brush my teeth, I drink my glass of water, and it's just an easy way sometimes to form a new habit. Is create the cue, which is the glass of water is in front of me doing a habit I already do, which is brush my teeth. As soon as I brush my teeth, I drink my glass of water, and in that way she's getting 8 ounces of water in straight away at the start of the day. So yeah, hydration, really, really important for your energy levels, for your digestion, for your mood.
My buddy Richard gave me this. This is my little glass. It's about 30 ounces. Because it is crucial. And it lubricates your joints. It really feeds the brain with the fluid that a brain needs to. Your brain burns so much of the energy of your body. People don't realize, if you don't hydrate, you actually don't have clear thinking.
It's one of those things that sounds so simple and so easy. People ignore it. Just drink more water and you'll have more energy. You'll have better cognition. You'll have better gut health. But it really is that powerful. And again, it's just a case of like you, I've got a big bottle here to make sure, everywhere I go, I've got my water bottle. I'm constantly making sure that I'm hydrated because I view drinking water as feeling good, feeling great. I'm not seeing like, I have to drink water and I don't like it.
Yeah, right. No, so as you step up from level 1 to level 5, just in a general sense, what are the changes that you add to the program as you increase your level of involvement or process?
Yeah. So if we were to look at the 6 sort of core pillars of health, they're going to be sleep, your movement habits, your nutrition, your stress and emotional management, your social connections, and then your supplements and hormones. So as we start in the beginning, it's often just focusing on those bigger rocks. So how can we get more movement in? How can we get more whole foods into your diet? How can we start tracking food and start to create an awareness around food? As we start to get further into the levels, it will be more deep diving into your stress and emotional management. So we all have, bad days where our boss ticks us off or our kids are driving us a little bit crazy. And it's like, how do we manage our stress in those moments? So maybe we're not turning to food or we're turning to alcohol, and making sure that we're starting to, one, create the awareness We always have to be problem aware before we become solution aware. So we have to have the awareness of the problem first. Often a lot of people understand that there's a problem or what the behavior isn't serving them, but they're not actually aware of what the problem is. So that's always a great place to start. And then really starting to form strategies, like unique strategies for you. So some people, when they get really stressed out, they'll turn to food. Other people, their appetite might get suppressed. For other people, they might deal with it in other negative ways. And again, it's just about raising that awareness and starting to create unique strategies for you to make sure that when this situation happens again, your response to it is much healthier and is going to continue to serve you moving forward. So the beginning, very much focused on sleep, movement, nutrition. As we start to get further into it, it's more about self-awareness and finding tools and strategies that you can use, whether that's journaling, managing your stress better, and then starting to take a step away from tracking food is quite monotonous and laborious. People don't really like to do it in the beginning. But if you haven't got a great sense of portion control and calories and macronutrients, it's a fantastic tool to use in the beginning. And we kind of see it as not a tracking tool, but like a planning tool. So instead of looking at like, I've got to track my calories, instead it's like, hey, I'm going to plan my meals. And it just allows you to have sound nutritional habits. Just like if you were to track your finances and you wanted sound financial habits, you would make a point of tracking your financials and looking at them on a regular basis and doing audits and so on and so forth.
Yeah, it's great. With where because you concentrate on women, you mentioned hormones, which is for women, it's a much more variable aspect to weight. I would love for you to expand on that because it's something that I don't understand much about, and I'm sure people would like to hear about it.
Yeah. So men's hormones are pretty consistent till around 25 to 30 years old. Then we start to see a bit of a decrease in testosterone, like sort of every year. And men do go through what's actually called a male menopause, but it's just a much more gradual, slower period. Now, women have many gynecological issues, which could be from polycystic ovaries, endometriosis, PMDD, and these can all cause hormonal imbalances that can affect you physically and can affect you mentally. You also have women's menstrual cycles, which can range anywhere from 21 to 35 days, not like a typical 28 days. And some women don't have too many issues with the menstrual cycle, and other women can really struggle at certain points in the cycle. And this can affect how you feel physically and, again, how you feel mentally and emotionally. So a key thing for any woman listening, and I always get a bit of backlash here because I'm a guy, but one of the best things that you can do for your mental health is actually get in tune with your cycle, and even get your partner on board as well. So if you know at certain points in your cycle your energy is lower and you don't feel as great, prioritizing a little bit more sleep over those 3 days in your cycle could really benefit you. If you know you really struggle on your nutrition on certain days of your cycle, maybe getting some meal prep done the days before is only going to make those days easier to stay on top of your health. Again, with your partner, if they know that, they might be able to lean in and support and help. And instead of seeing it as like a sort of like it's got to always be you, actually creating a, helping the family understand certain parts of your cycle doesn't mean, it's not trying to say it in like a negative way. It's just women becoming more self-aware. I think even when we were speaking about nutrition a bit earlier, it's just becoming self-aware around what works for you. So that's a lot of issues that women can kind of struggle with. You've then also got prenatal. So you've got all the issues that come with women being pregnant. You've got prenatal, you've got depression while women are pregnant. You've got postnatal and postnatal depression, which again can come with a whole host of issues. A lot of women have never really struggled with the weight, and then they have kids and then they gain 40 pounds and like wonder how has this happened? Yeah. And then on top of that, you've got perimenopause, which can happen around 8 years before actual menopause. And then menopause happens. And menopause for men and women, in the most simplistic terms, is just a hormone deficiency. So it's just your hormones are starting to regress over time. And that can cause, again, from night sweats to hot flushes to brain fog to poor sleep. It's a very difficult time that a lot of women go through. And there isn't a lot of support. There isn't a lot of support in general around women's health. So it's multifaceted when it comes to hormones in women. And it's really about getting the right help. But one thing there's a common through line is that your sleep, your movement habits, your nutrition, your stress and emotional management, your social connections, they're like the bedrock of health. And the earlier you get them in a solid place, the more they will serve you through every aspect of your life. So whether you're looking to get pregnant or not, whether you're going through menopause, like having a solid foundation of sleep, movement, nutrition, stress management and social connections, having them all in a really healthy place will just continue to serve you through some of those more testing times in life.
Well, my wife struggled. She was a lawyer. And so very stressful job. Raised four kids, two of them boys, very stressful job. Live with a crazy guy like me, very stressful job, right? So she used particularly candy as a, because she doesn't drink. So it's the reward, right, for getting through some stressful situation. And I don't think that's unique to Kay, but I think that is something women do. And probably more than men. What men typically do is have a beer or go in that direction. I mean, you can't watch a TV program where somewhere in there's a stressful situation and they go drink, or there's a new relationship, they go drink. So alcohol plays a huge variable in your ability to maintain a healthy weight. How do you guide people in that?
Yeah, alcohol is this. It's especially I'm in England, in the UK. It's very cultural, it's a very big sort of binge drinking sort of culture, and everything's celebrated around alcohol. You definitely are seeing with the younger generations, especially like Gen Z, there's a big push for going, sober and alcohol free, and there's a lot more alcohol free drinks coming about. But yeah, if we look at how alcohol is possibly having a knock-on effect in obesity and people's health and weight management, alcohol has a lot of calories. So if you want to,
carbs, no value whatsoever, just straight carbs.
Yeah, so alcohol would be classed as like the fourth macronutrient, and they're very much classed as empty calories. So not only are you drinking your calories, which is, if you're looking to lose weight, it's something that you'd probably want to minimize or remove, which would be drinking your calories. But alcohol, you are drinking your calories. And then the next part of that is like, nobody makes good decisions after a few too many drinks. So, if you are a little bit more hungry because you've been trying to lose weight, and then you have a couple of drinks, that tenacity or that willpower that you maybe have to stay the course, kind of like, oh, that pizza seems really appealing right now. And then it's 2,000 calories of pizza, and the guilt kicks in because you're feeling a bit hungover. You've eaten a lot of food that maybe you didn't plan to. And then it's kind of, it's soddy. Like, what's the point? I'll overeat on Saturday, I'll overeat on Sunday. And then you jump on the scales on Monday morning and people have gained, 7 to 10 pounds. And like, oh my God, how has this happened? I've failed again. So it's not that you can't have alcohol. You can't have alcohol as a part of your life and as part of your diet. You've just got to have that awareness to be like, what's my relationship with alcohol? Does one drink always lead to 5? And then do I just like mess it up? Or can I actually have a glass or two of wine and stop and actually enjoy the wine, enjoy the connections with people? And it's really finding what that balance looks like for you. And that actually takes a bit of push and pull sometimes, and being okay with actually failing. So like, hey, if you want to go, right, you know what, I'd love to have a glass of wine on Friday night or a couple of beers, go for it. And then if you end up blowing it really badly, maybe that's kind of like, okay, maybe I'll try that one more time. It happens again, and it's really affecting your health goals and your weight loss goals. Hey, it's like, maybe right now we'll view weight loss as a season of your life. And this isn't, losing weight, I think a lot of people forget, is it's not a forever process. The goal with weight loss is to get to the goal weight or the healthy weight. And then you actually get more calories and things can actually become a little bit easier. So sometimes it's just viewing weight loss as a season. And hey, like, if I have to abstain a little bit from drinking alcohol, if I really have not the best relationship with it, that's okay for a season. As long as like because we're focusing on our ultimate goal at the moment, which is to get healthy and to lose weight.
2-minute drill.
I took a 12-year-old and I was like, hey, you're getting ready for your first year as a freshman. You want to get ready for sports. What do you think your plate should look like? That 12-year-old could probably know I should avoid donuts. I should have some green on there. I should have some lean meat. It is a lack of education, but sometimes we get so lost in the intricacies, so we want to maybe shortcut or have a fast track. But in general, we know we shouldn't be eating that donut.
To touch on what Daniel was saying, we need to learn how to read labels a lot better.
Yes.
A lot of people don't even look at the label, let alone the calories, let alone the protein, let alone the carbs, let alone the fats, especially the ingredients, right? So try to avoid these processed foods as much as possible at these grocery stores, at these gas stations. The statement of you are what you eat can't be more true. You really are what you eat, and your body breaks it down and it goes into your cells. Learning labels will be very important.
The temptation is real. The temptation, sometimes it wins, and it's okay, because we came to understanding that, like, if we eat an Oreo or whatever food that we eat, that's not gonna really set you back anything. It's not gonna kill your diet. It's not gonna kill the progress that you made. So it's all in moderation. You can incorporate all those foods that you enjoy while you're still living that healthy lifestyle.
Remember, obesity is a medical condition, not a character flaw. To learn more about the NFL alumni's ongoing commitment to our community and kids, go to tackleobesity.com. Cheerleader performance.
Extremely critical, I would say, to have that support. Like I said, outside of each other, I would say watching the YouTube videos, watching these fitness programs, even though the person was behind a screen, but just having that person there to push you, to give you guidance on a specific program, I think that's, extremely critical, and it's necessary. Also, they motivate you. Even, like I said, even though they're behind a screen, come on, let's do it. Let's get it done. It's all motivation. So to me, that's like, you need that. You need to have that someone there, pushing you.
So in between that birth and your death, just like in sports and track and field, from your start to your finish, there's always going to be obstacles and situations that will try to tire you out. To try to make you say, why did I do this? Why am I doing this? To make you quit. So ultimate success in the game of life has 12 dynamic principles that I've learned, and that has helped me go from my start to a finish in one phase of my life. I like to call that level 1. Now I'm working on level 2, level 3, level 4. So every morning we wake up, we're exposed to another level. And that's another opportunity to achieve ultimate success in life.
Remember, obesity is a medical condition, not a character flaw. To learn more about the NFL alumni's ongoing commitment to our community and kids, go to tackleobesity.com. Coach's Corner.
Having a coach is actually is a great thing, to be honest with you, in my mind, because a coach is going to always hold you accountable. A coach ain't going to be your friend. A coach is going to tell you the truth no matter what happens, and he's going to he or she are going to motivate you.
And you want to find you a coach that has already accomplished what you want to accomplish. So they're able to see things that you're not able to see. You get you a coach that have already walked the path, so your path can be easy. So get you someone that can speak life into you, someone that can guide you, someone that has a system that's going to work for you.
This program, which is now called Tackle Obesity. So it went from let's talk about it, so let's get our guys well, to now let's inspire the world to tackle obesity themselves and empower people to do it. So we're partnering with a lot of different folks to do it. Reach out and communicate and train and inspire people, and then support them in their journey.
Remember, obesity is a medical condition, not a character flaw. To learn more about the NFL alumni's ongoing commitment to our community and kids, go to tackleobesity.com.
You're in England, but what percent of your clients are actually in America?
About 70%.
Terrific.
Yeah.
They must love your accent.
Yeah, I've had to learn to speak a lot slower. Yeah, it's definitely a few communication issues, but other than that, all good.
Yeah, no. So what? So do you? Sorry, you have? Are all your coaches females?
So we have 14 coaches at Body Smart. 10 are women and 4 are men. Some women actually do prefer to work with a guy, but like all of our coaches have got, you know, high levels of emotional intelligence. You know, we coach with compassion and empathy, but we also, you know, one of our taglines is that we cut the BS. And it's not just with all like the misinformation out there. We very much want to, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. We do cut the BS with that, but we also help people cut the BS with themselves. So we all have that inner monologue, that inner voice, you know, that's telling us to go down the path of least resistance. I've sometimes called it like my inner bitch, you know, like, oh, like I don't really want to work out this morning, but you know, I can feel it getting really loud. And our coaches are, I would say, they're masters at being able to give somebody that tough love without offending them. And it's a real balancing act to do, but it's really how you help clients take the biggest steps forward and really feel proud of the actions that they're taking. Because after a couple of months of somebody being consistent and taking these steps that they didn't think were possible, you really start to build that evidence of like, wow, I can do this and I did do this. And it really starts to reaffirm that self-belief of, wow, like, you know, what else am I capable of? What else can I keep doing and keep, how further can I take this with my health? And you often find that as a byproduct of people getting their health and wellness and training in a great check, it spills over into other areas of their lives, whether that's their relationships, their careers. You know, they want to go and try a new challenge because that self-belief comes back.
So is your model, is it a monthly commitment or how does it work in terms of the client?
Yeah, so all of our clients come on for a minimum of 4 months. Yeah, for 4 months to begin with. And then depending on where the client's at, they'll stay on for longer afterwards. So our goal is not to keep any clients forever. It's to get people to their weight loss goal and make sure that they have the character traits, the skills, and most importantly, the right belief system that they can go and sustain this for the rest of their life. So just like I said, 85 to 95% of people who lose weight regain it all back over the next 2 to 3 years.
Yep.
We know our Body Smart graduates are in that 5%. You know, we've given them the habits, the skills, and the right belief system that they know they can go and do this for the rest of their lives. They know when the holidays come, or a birthday, or a vacation, or even the stuff that people don't really want to talk about, which is when illness and disease strikes, whether that's for yourself or for your family. These are often very emotionally testing times that can make it really difficult. And if you don't have that really strong bedrock of health in place, it can feel very easy in those moments to revert back to old habits and behaviors and see the weight quickly come back on.
Yeah, I think the rebound is it's the most devastating part of all of this, is that because you have to face, oh my God, I got to deal with it again, you know?
Yeah.
And so obviously if you've had that experience during your coaching engagement, then you'll get those kind of training, if you will, during it. But once you're out on your own, are there libraries of content or anything like that as a former client I access, or how does that work?
Yeah, we give all of our clients a playbook to walk away with, and it's very unique to them, because where somebody might really struggle with emotional eating versus somebody else might have a different trigger, you know, a huge key component of seeing success for you personally is becoming self-aware, knowing how you react in certain situations,
sure,
and then how you're ultimately going to deal with them. So yeah, that's the key thing. For us, it's, you know, why we're able to create so much success with the clients is that they will often, like, I would actually, and this sounds a bit almost backwards to say, I would be more worried if a client was with us for 6 months and done everything perfectly for 6 months straight. Like, that would, in my eyes, I'd be more worried about that client than the client who's been here for 6 months and fell off a couple of times, but then being able to get back on. Because they're putting in the reps to be like, hey, that was uncomfortable, or I wasn't proud of how I felt that weekend. But then they ultimately got back on track, start prioritizing their health, and understood that that's just a part of life. You know, like life has seasons, things come and go. It's really hard at times. It's really enjoyable at times. And that's a part of life, and accepting that and understanding on the days where you give 40%, you don't give 40%, you give 100. If that's actually 100%, if that's all you could give, it really just empowers people to keep taking those steps no matter what.
Yes. Well, you know, one of the things we like to do is get short clips from our interviews where we then use those in our social media.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd love for you to go through your 6 platforms and give us a short clip. And really, we're looking for something in the minute range about each of your, you know, so your tip related to each of your core components, because and you know, you can just rattle them off one after the other is fine, but just to introduce it and then give your thoughts on it and see what we come up with.
Okay, fantastic. So for me, your 6 pillars of health are going to be your sleep. So aiming to get somewhere between 6 to 8 hours of sleep, and that's going to be the quantity component. But then you really want to be looking at the quality of your sleep as well. So this is how much deep sleep you're getting, and a few quick tips people could do is, you know, reduce the caffeine intake. So try to have no caffeine 8 hours before bed. And then the big one would be trying to not be on screens, you know, 30 to 60 minutes before you go to bed, because the light on the screens are really going to engage your brain and keep you awake. After that is going to be your movement habits. So that's the really second big one. A quick one here is most people can go into their phone and see how many steps they're doing. Now, 8 to 10,000 steps is a good recommendation to aim for, 8,000 to 10,000. If you're doing 3,000 or 4,000, just trying to bump that up even by 1,000 is a huge, big step. Stay consistent with that for a month, and then try to do a little bit more till you get to that 8 to 10,000 range. You've also got strength training is really important there, but I think just for the biggest return on investment, just trying to get them steps to 8 to 10,000 would be great to begin with. Your nutrition. So most people are eating the same 40 to 50 foods every single week. So all I would say is just start small. Try and swap out 1 or 2 foods a week or every other week for a healthier option. And a healthier option is often going to be more whole foods. And an easy way to think about a whole food is, let's look at a potato. So a potato would be a whole food. The next level of that being processed would be French fries. And the next level of that being processed is going to be a potato chip. So that's like a really processed version. You want to get as minimally processed foods, like that wants to make up the majority of your diet as possible. Then you've got, next up is your stress and emotional management. So this is really just those times where you maybe feel like you lose control, or you have an outburst of anger or emotions, really trying to just take a moment to sit in that and realize what's triggered you. Was it your boss? Was it your partner? Was it something else? Try to really manage that situation. And next time that happens, because it will happen again, try to create a different outcome with a different strategy. So instead of maybe turning to food or turning to alcohol, what could you do different? Could you go for a walk? Could you call a friend? Could you get a hot bath? Could you do something different? And I'm not saying it's going to work first time, but just have the open mindset to at least try. Next up is going to be your social connections. So it's, you know, loneliness has become a real issue. People working from home, not socializing as much, making sure that you have social connections, spending time with friends, family. Actually, like, when's the last time like you belly laughed? You want to be belly laughing a couple of times a week. It's fantastic for your health, your physical health, your emotional health. And it really just gets you in a healthy place. Next up is your supplements and hormones. And this is probably like the least important, I would say, for most people to look at. Most people would benefit from a general multivitamin, like a gender-specific one. If you live in the UK or somewhere that's really dark, vitamin D, just a low dose of vitamin D can really be helpful. And then your omega-3s can be really beneficial as well. And they're like the 3 general supplements. Anything else, you'd want to really get blood work done to get recommendations.
Sure. If I have a doctor I'm working with, how does that interface with Smart Body?
With Body Smart, yeah. So like we get a lot of referrals from doctors just from the success that we've been able to see, just because, you know, people are going to do their yearly checkup, and the BMI is maybe a little bit too high. And a lot of people don't like BMI. It is good for general population. But another one is your height to waist ratio. And you want your waist to be no more than half of your height. And that's because it means you're carrying too much belly fat or too much of a spare tire. And it increases your chance of diabetes, heart disease, and some other illnesses that we would rather avoid. So for us, it doesn't, as long as the doctor's not giving too much contradicting advice, most of the times it's a great partnership to work with. And a lot of the things that, we're saying today, Russ, are just often some people are like, oh, it's too simplistic. And I think there's a big gap between like knowing what to do and actually doing. And like a lot of people might know the actions that they need to take, but knowing and doing is very different. A lot of people know how they would get fitter, but it's the practical actions that people need to take. So, for us, the biggest struggles the doctors have is that they can tell the patients and the clients what to do. It's the practical application that they struggle with. And that's where we're experts at motivating people, inspiring people, leading people, and really helping them create those habits and behavior changes that make a lasting change.
Yeah. Those are great points, and you had that adage. I'm trying to remember that you mentioned. It was really excellent. I want you to repeat that because it's so good.
Which part? Sorry.
The adage you offered. It was something about your habits today, or you something.
So yeah, it's show me your habits, and I'll show you your future. And it is your habits very much like how you act on a day-to-day basis is very much going to dictate what's going to happen tomorrow, next week, next month. So having healthy habits really do compound and enrich your life over time.
So how does a coach, you've got a block, you've got a bad habit, right?
Yeah.
So how does a coach take you from where you're at? Because this is absolutely the core of habitual change. How do they take you from here to there? And you mentioned it, but I think it's a key point, which is this smart love, or the way you phrased it was great.
Yeah, it's really, when you create a new habit, there needs to be a cue, and then you really need to make it easy. So let's say we want to get a habit of going to the gym more often. Now, let's say we've got a gym that's 20 minutes the wrong way from where we live. And then we've got another gym that is on the way to work. Now, some people will go to the gym because they like it a bit more. That's 20 minutes the wrong way from work. But then they realize they've had the gym membership for 2 years and never been. Versus having the gym that's on the way to work, you can almost make it easier to pass. Like, you've got to drive past the gym every day and actively choose not to go in. So often setting your environment up to make it easier starts to help these habits to form in a much easier way. So the easier you can set your environment up for success, the easier it just becomes to your default. You just live a fitter and healthier lifestyle. And that's really the key. If you were to, let's say you were to get somebody who was really struggling with their weight, and say they come and lived with a family who were super, super healthy, by proxy, they would probably just start to become healthier over time. And it's probably got down to like the movement habits, the nutrition, the sleep habits, just how they generally live. You'd find a lot of things are just by default set up that help people live a healthier life. And for most people, that feels like it's a long distance away. And you don't need to worry about that. That's what overwhelms people. You really just got to focus on, what can I do today to get 1% better tomorrow? And it can be as simplistic as that, because the more... There's a great book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And his whole thing is, tiny changes, remarkable results. And that's what it is. A lot of people want to see that, like, they want to go all or nothing. I'm going to go to the gym 5 times next week. I'm going to not eat any chocolate. I'm not going to have any alcohol. Everyone wants to go 100 miles an hour. And then they wonder why they do it for 2 weeks and then drop off. A better solution is to have more of a zoomed out approach. Look at this as a 6 to 12 month sort of approach, and just small little steps that you can take every single day that don't feel that difficult. And then you look back over a couple of weeks, you look back over a couple of months, and you've made fundamental lifestyle changes, and you're starting to see results. And that's where a year goes by and you're like, holy crap, I've lost 50 pounds. and I feel so much better. Like, how did that happen? And it's just by those small, consistent steps every single day.
Well, we know obesity is the mother of 200 comorbidities, starting with diabetes, and then diabetes increases your risk for heart disease about fourfold. The thing about heart disease in women is they tend to not have a heart attack. They tend to die from a heart attack. Wow. Whereas men tend to survive it, the first one, but then not the second one. Not always, and certainly but it is something that people don't realize the importance of what you're doing in terms of this. So the investment they make in their coaching is not about their weight. It's about the extension of their life, and the things that you're able to do in your life. So framing it from that point of view, what are your comments on that one?
Oh, it's huge. We've had husbands message us and say, I feel like I've got my wife back, and a lot of people feel like they've got themselves back in their life. The amount of parents that have declined taking their children to social events because they feel embarrassed about how they look, and then they feel the guilt around the children, or women who are not putting their hand up for that next step in their career because they don't feel confident enough to do so. So yes, there's all of these parts of, you've got your lifespan, which is, how long we live, but then you also have your health span, which is how long we go before we get any sort of disease. And for a lot of people, you want to have as long of a health span as possible. And that means, hey, when we're in our, 50s, 60s, and even 70s and beyond, we still feel great. We still have energy. We still can get up with a spring in our step and enjoy our lives. And yes, that's going to give you, mastering your health now is definitely going to serve you in the future decades to come. Sure. But it is also really going to enrich your life today. There's you hear some people say, oh, we all have 24 hours in a day, which is, even though that's technically true, it's for some people, they have much less than 24 hours because of the responsibilities and the commitments that they have. But for me, fundamentally, one of the things that I believe people can do to feel like they have more time is have more energy. So if you have more energy, when you finish work at 5 o'clock, you've got a spring in your step to go and do more. If you've got no energy, the day ends at 5 o'clock. All you want to do is go home and be a couch potato because you're so low energy. So getting your health in the best place possible today, yes, it's going to extend your life expectancy. Yes, it's going to increase your health span, but it's also going to enrich every part of your life today and every day moving forward.
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, we have we're building a network of influencers that we work with, and we include them in our radio show. We're on 3 markets, and we'd love to invite you to we'll have a separate conversation about that, because one of the things we're doing is supporting really coaches like yourself. I mean, we don't really try to, anyway, it's so important what you're doing. I don't know, the reality is it's hard to quantify the impact of so many lives that you've moved from where it was to something so much better. And, that is, a wonderful career. I'm wondering how many of your coaches actually are graduates.
Yeah, we've had a couple of our coaches who have gone through their own weight loss journeys, quite big weight loss journeys, and that's inspired them to become coaches. It's actually really hard to get a job as a coach at Body Smart. You've got to have at least, 5,000 hours of experience and have a long list of sort of, social proof that you can actually get results. And even though a lot of people might look at the training element and the nutrition element, a huge thing for us is behavior change. Like, all of our coaches have to go through some sort of qualification that shows that they can actually help shift and change people's behaviors, because it's so important in making that lasting change. But yeah, it's the changes that it makes. It's hard to even quantify sometimes. Like, you change a woman's life, she's in the best place possible. She becomes a better mother, a better daughter, a better co-worker. And then that just it's like a positive ripple effect that affects every single person that individual interacts with. And the fact that we're doing that on such a scale, it's an extremely rewarding job. It's a huge part of why I get up in the morning and why the team do as well.
That's I didn't realize your coaches had that depth of background. So the only thing I think missing from your website is that is impressive, very, very impressive. The extent of their background, that is, it's so significant because you're right. You've got to select people who are really experienced, have the, not just wannabes, but are really, excellent at what they do and have real world experience and successes. So that I think that's phenomenal. So Jaymie, what I'd love to do is wrap it up now, but I'd love to schedule a kind of a conversation because what you're doing again is totally aligned with Tackle Obesity. I'd love to kind of open the deck as to how we could work together. So if you would, let's schedule something next week and see
Definitely.
if we can't make this move. Well, listen, thank you for your time today. It was a fantastic interview. Is there any closing thoughts you want to add, please?
No, cheers, Russ, and thank you for having me on. I guess if anyone else would like to find out more about what we do, it's bodysmartfitness.com, and I am at Jaymie Moran, or if you Google Body Smart Fitness on Instagram, you'll be able to find us.
Terrific.
Thank you.
Again, Jaymie, thank you, and we'll be in touch next week. Thanks so much.
Cheers, Russ.